Good afternoon. Well, I guess everyone is out enjoying the beautiful, beautiful weather today because we seem to have a light attendance, but that's not so terrible. Welcome to the Town of Islip August Town Board meeting. And before we begin, I would ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, to be led by our town attorney, Mike Walsh. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As we begin our town board meeting, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the extraordinary character of our community. Time and time again, we witness the heroic efforts of our town's residents and members who step up in times of crisis to help their neighbors. Today, we have the privilege of honoring two groups of remarkable individuals who exemplify the spirit of courage, quick thinking, and neighborly concern that make our town such a special place for all of us to live. First up, on the evening of Tuesday, July 16th, brothers Ryan, Jack, and Liam Talley, and I'm going to ask those three gentlemen to come forward. And also I'm going to ask their councilman from East Islip District to join us, and that's Councilman Jim O'Connor. They were playing ball in their yard when they noticed flames coming from a neighbor's house. Demonstrating remarkable presence of mind, Ryan climbed a playset to confirm the observation and immediately instructed his brothers to alert their parents. As the Talley family rushed to inform their neighbors of the danger, they encountered Tom O'Shea, a retired FDNY firefighter with over 41 years of service. Without hesitation, Mr. O'Shea, who unfortunately could not be with us today, he grabbed a garden hose, used a ladder to access the roof, and began fighting the fire, which had originated from an attic fan. Thanks to the quick response, the fire was quickly extinguished by the time, well, almost extinguished by the time the Brentwood Fire Department arrived on the scene. The Brentwood homeowners were unaware of the fire until alerted by their neighbors, and thanks to the swift actions of the Talley family, Mr. O'Shea, and the prompt response of our local fire department, the house suffered only limited damage, allowing the neighbors to remain in their home. You know, the Talley name is not unfamiliar to us here in the town of Islip because George Talley, and is that a relation of yours? That was your grandfather? Yes. George was just such an incredible member of the community. He was a member of the Brentwood Board of Education. He cared so much about the kids, not just in the hamlet of Brentwood, but of course the town of Islip and Long Island for that matter. So it's not a surprise to me that those Talley community service genes are flowing in your veins, so we thank you. This incident highlights the crucial role that alert and caring neighbors play in the community's safety. The quick thinking of these three brothers, their neighbor, as well as the efficient response of the Brentwood Fire Department, all contributed to averting what could have been otherwise a tragic loss. So join us in recognizing and thanking Ryan, Jack, and Liam Talley for their heroic actions and service to our community. Liam. Okay, so the heroic efforts of our town's members do not stop here. This month, we also have the privilege of recognizing a group of Town of Islip lifeguards who facilitated the rescue of young sailors in distress off Islip Beach. On Thursday, August 5th, lifeguards stationed at the Islip Beach observed a sunfish sailboat in distress in the bay waters just off the swimming area. Chief Lifeguard Dan Geschwin, Dan, why don't you join us, quickly assessed the situation and deployed rookie lifeguards, Caden Tierney and Teague Nolan, gentlemen, join us, both 16 years old, to aid the young sailors as their vessel capsized. I'm also going to invite Mark Taramiana, who coordinates the lifeguard program for us in the town of Islip, to please join us. Caden proceeded into the water on kayak while Teague used a rescue board to reach the distressed sailors. Chief Geschwin's decision to deploy Caden and Teague was based on their exceptional performance during regular training exercises in which they have actively participated throughout the season. Caden, an Islip native, had recently completed our town waterfront lifeguard course earlier this summer, demonstrating his commitment to serving our community. Teague, hailing from West Islip, comes from a family dedicated to water safety, being the youngest of 3 siblings who all work as Town of Islip lifeguards. Thanks to their combined quick actions and skilled response, the young sailors were safely rescued. This incident highlights our lifeguards' readiness to respond to water emergencies, and it also serves as a reminder of water activities' unpredictable nature and the vital role our lifeguards play in ensuring the safety of all of our beachgoers. So please join us in recognizing Chief Lifeguard Dan Geschwin, Lifeguard Caden Tierney, and Lifeguard T. Nolan. We have a few announcements before we start our meeting today. Our Summer Splash Pool Party at Roberto Clemente Park had to be rescheduled because of the weather, but it will be held on Thursday, August 15th from 3 to 6. All kinds of activities, hot dogs, music, and much more. Admission is free. We also continue with our Islip Summer Fun Series, movie nights every Monday and concerts in the park every Wednesday. And we rescheduled because of weather and have a makeup date at Brookwood Hall for our classic rock band Wonder Stories on Wednesday, August 27th. Also on Wednesday, the 21st of August at Casamento, we have music and astronomy under the stars, with tunes from Leonard Skinner, tribute band, Freebird, food trucks, etc., and also a lecture by Dr. Donald Lubowich on going to guide everybody through telescopic views of the moon, Saturn, and Venus. Don't forget, we just ask everyone to please, if they could, participate in our back-to-school supply drive. We're once again collecting donations to help those in need, and they can be donated and left here at Town Hall or on the first floor lobby at 401 Main Street. On Wednesday, September 4th at 4, we launch our Islip Goes Purple a month-long campaign to stand united in memory of the lives lost, those in recovery, and those struggling with substance abuse disorder. We'll kick it off with our color fun run around Town Hall, followed by the ceremonial lighting of the cupola purple. Lastly, we're pleased to announce the 6th annual Sea Fest to be held at the Bayshore Marina on Saturday, September 7th from 12 to 6 p.m. All kinds of great food, activities, entertainment, and so much more while enjoying the beautiful, great South Bay. Hope to see everybody there. Thank you so much.
Sure, Madam Supervisor. Item number 1 is to transfer of properties located at 75 Amityville Street, Islip Terrace, from the Town of Islip Community Development Agency under the CDA's Rent with Option to Buy Affordable Housing Program.
Hearing none, motion?
I can't make this motion, I have to recuse myself.
Okay. So,
Motion to close the public hearing and adopt the
negative.
item for resolution.
We have a motion. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? And one recusal. 4 in favor, 1 recusal. It is approved. Next,
Item number 2 is to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code.
are there any questions or comments on this particular public hearing? Hearing none, motion?
Motion to close the public hearing, offer the resolution for its adoption.
We have a motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 3, hearing 3.
To consider amending the Islip Town Code, Chapter 68, Section 68-457, entitled Moratorium on Development of Battery Energy Storage Systems.
We have no cards that have been filled out to speak on this. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion to close the public hearing, offer the resolution for its adoption.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 4,
To consider amending Chapter 68 of the Town of Islip zoning code, Sections 68-385, 68-649, and 68-650.
thank you, Madam Clerk. We do have a card. Someone has chosen to speak on this particular hearing. Frida Petrosini. Just come forward, please.
Good afternoon. I just read on the website about your decision to put into writing the illegality of people renting their pools out for money. I came here on June 2023 and spoke about the problem that's been occurring with the Swimply application where people are making money and renting out their backyards to the, detriment of the neighbors that have to put up with all the parties. This year it was really out of hand. They don't just do it on the weekends anymore. Every day there's a party, and sometimes twice a day. There'll be a 14th birthday party in the day, and then they leave at 6, and then 7:30 a new group comes in till 10:30 at night, music blaring. I think the code says 11 p.m. where you really can't call the cops or anything. And I understand you were working on wording. I'm not going to be long. I understand that this wording, it says you're considering amending. When does it get amended, and when would it be effective? Because it does appear that you did change the wording, and I applaud you for that. So I'm changing everything that I was going to speak about, and to say thank you, especially you, Mr. Lorenzo, because your office has been most instrumental in it. I've been contacting, like you told me to contact attorneys. This has been going on for a year. I've been writing. You wouldn't believe the videos I got of the people next door, strangers, just carloads of people, like uploading, changing neighborhoods. It's like nobody asked you to be here. I don't even know who you are. Dangerous. And all of a sudden you start hearing about all these burglaries, everybody on. I don't know who they are. I know who my neighbors are, and I know who, when they want to have a block party, everybody has one. You have you get your DJ, but not every single day, every single weekend. So thank you. If this does go into wording, I just want to know, when it is effective.
Well, the process took place. We advertised a public hearing. We will be closing the public hearing and offering the resolution for its adoption. And then I guess it gets filed with the Secretary of State, or with a code change, we can just do it immediately. Oh, okay, great. So 2 weeks. But we thank you for bringing it to our attention. Yours is not the only situation, unfortunately.
I know.
But this will allow us to go in there and monitor these situations, issue violations, and hopefully put an end to it. So we thank you very much.
I thank you, and I thank God for you people in control. I mean, I was getting upset with you, but I should have just been patient, and I was just getting impatient. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Frida. Be well. Okay, there are no other cards to speak, so do you have a motion to close the public hearing? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor?
Right.
Opposed? The hearing is closed. The resolution is adopted. Thank you. Thank you all who worked on that, too. And before we proceed to the agenda, I would just like to recognize a longstanding, pretty, I'm not going to say infamous, but pretty well-known journalist that covered the county legislature for many, many years, and that's Rick Brand. Thank you for joining us, Rick. He's a resident of the town of Islip, and we're proud to have you. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. Motion to convene. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? We are convened, a quorum being present. Mr. Walzer.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the agency board. John Walzer, Executive Director, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration today. The first item for your consideration is to approve the minutes from the last agency board meeting on July 16th.
Do you have a motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item for your consideration is an inducement resolution between the agency and Albert Kemperly LLC at 5050 Vets Highway in Holbrook. Kemperly is a leading distributor of automotive paint and related products and equipment. The company was founded in Brooklyn in 1940 and has since grown to have over 50 locations throughout the country and Canada. This project involves relocating and expanding the company's corporate headquarters and 3 other Long Island locations into this Islip location. This project represents a $1.7 million capital investment, the retention of 65 jobs with 3 additional jobs for our region.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item for your consideration is also an inducement resolution between the agency and Lessings, Inc. at 3525 Sunrise Highway in Islip Terrace. Lessings Hospitality Group operates over 100 locations throughout the Northeast, including wedding and catering venues, full-service restaurants, and corporate and academic dining centers. This project involves the purchase of 3525 Sunrise Highway, relocating the company's corporate headquarters, conference center, and technology hub. It represents a $3.6 million capital investment, the retention of 34 jobs, with 37 additional jobs promised at this location.
Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Okay, the next item for your consideration is an amended authorizing resolution between the agency and 227 4th Avenue Partners, LLC, located at 227 4th Avenue in Bay Shore. Today's resolution represents a change of ownership from the previously authorized resolution.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution for a project induced at last month's meeting. This was the expansion of Asian food manufacturer Wang Foods at 50 Inez Drive in Bay Shore.
Motion by Councilman Guardone, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
And the last item I have for your consideration is also an authorizing resolution for a project induced last month. Islandia Property Owners, LLC is a regionally significant development project at 1 Computer Associates Plaza in Islandia.
Any questions?
I have some questions.
Councilman O'Connor.
John, I've been reading the paper lately, and I saw that Suffolk County IDA is clawing back some of their benefits that they authorized to the Cannon Corporation, who are relocating the jobs that they promised to keep in Melville to other communities. The IDA has gone back and clawed back benefits they gave to them when they promised to keep the jobs there in Melville. I just read yesterday that another corporation located in Garden City, an aerospace manufacturer of parts in the aerospace industry, again went to Suffolk County IDA requesting IDA benefits. And the corporate parent of this company just announced that they're laying off all of the people at their Long Island locations. And the Suffolk County IDA is pursuing them and trying to claw back IDA benefits given to them. Does our IDA consider clawing back benefits when folks who are in receipt of Islip IDA benefits on promises that they're going to retain and expand employees, move those employees out of state, or those jobs never materialize?
Yeah, we have recapture language in all of our closing documents.
And have we ever acted on it?
Yes, we have.
Okay. You'll be hearing from me some more on one of our, the reason why I bring it up with this item is because one of the projects that we authorized was Spec Industrial. I understand the owner at that location is requesting $23 a square foot. They have 0 tenants at this time, and I guess I'll just watch that closely and speak to you in the future about a potential clawback of those IDA benefits.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was the last resolution that we had before us, yes?
Yes.
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
No, we haven't got a vote on the resolution.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So we have a motion and a second. Did we
No,
have?
no motion by me. I'm voting no.
Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, yes? And second? I'll second the resolution. All those in favor? Opposed?
One opposed.
4 in favor, 1 in opposition. Thank you.
And that's all the business I have for you today.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn the IDA.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move then to item 2, which is the town board authorization to clean up or secure certain properties in the town. Jeff, nice to see you.
Good afternoon,
may
Madam
proceed.
Supervisor, members of the town board and the town clerk. My appearance for the record is Jeffrey Panacci, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. I do have 19 matters on for your consideration here today. Number 1, to clean up the premises located at 0 Garden Street in West Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists overgrown vegetation as well as litter and debris, including abandoned vehicle tires, a rusted 55-gallon drum, and discarded pieces of cement, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 2, to board up and clean up the premises located at 20 Town Line Road in Hauppauge on this vacant and unsecured property, which was the location of a structural fire occurring on May 12th of 2024. There now exists open doors and windows located throughout the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including an unregistered vehicle, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 3, to board and clean up the premises located at 22 Town Line Road in Hauppauge on this vacant and unsecured property, which was also the location of a structural fire occurring on May 12, 2024, albeit a smaller one. There now exist missing windows throughout the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including a discarded mattress, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 4, to board and clean up the premises located at 26 Benjamin Street in Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there previously existed open doors and windows located on both the dwelling and the accessory structure, allowing access to the interior, as well as overgrown vegetation. It does appear at this point that some recent progress has been made at the property. However, there still exists litter and debris, including a wooden deck in a state of disrepair, black-colored plastic bags, corrugated piping, tree stumps, and cement blocks, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Quadrone, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 5 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 6, to clean up the premises located at 45 Forbes Street in Oakdale. On this vacant property, there previously existed overgrown vegetation. Once again, it appears some progress has been made recently. However, there still exists litter and debris, including a decaying wood ladder, discarded vehicle tires and random parts, discarded fencing, and a rusted tool cabinet, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 7, to board and clean up the premises located at 52 St. Mark's Lane in Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists open doors on both the dwelling and an accessory structure, allowing interior access, an incomplete protective barrier around the in-ground swimming pool, overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including discarded plywood, propane tanks, broken tiles, and a jacuzzi tub containing stagnant water and sediment, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo. I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 8, to board and clean up the premises located at 59 Irish Lane in East Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an open door on an accessory structure allowing interior access to that structure, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including a boat, a Ford pickup truck in a state of disrepair, construction debris, various discarded household items, buckets, and bags, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman, okay, you can speak to the town attorney after this. Okay. Well, we're going
We're gonna make a
to
decision.
act on it, but you'll have time to
Speak to the town
comply and
attorney.
speak to the town attorney. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 9 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 10, to clean up the premises located at 160 Main Street in Sayville. On this vacant property, there now exists overgrown vegetation as well as litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises, just so the board is aware with respect to this address. We did receive an affidavit of compliance earlier today from one of our code enforcement investigators who went to the property within the last day to make observations. However, based on what we observed in the pictures, we are still presenting the property to the board for a vote today. And of course, if the board does take action against this property and our DPW representatives do go there and it is sufficiently clean, they will take no action and there will be no cost associated with that.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 11, to board and clean up the premises located at 188 Officials Avenue in Holbrook. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists a decaying roof on the dwelling, open doors on an accessory structure allowing access to its interior, as well as litter and debris, including broken garbage cans, discarded wood boards, a tarp, a fish tank, and a 55-gallon drum, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 12 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 13, to board and clean up the premises located at 523 Gillette Avenue in Bayport. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists holes in the doors of the detached garage, allowing access to its interior, as well as litter and debris, including garbage bags, discarded pieces of wood, an unregistered vehicle, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 14 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 15, to clean up the premises located at 882 Union Boulevard in West Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including plastic containers, garbage cans, wood planks, a propane tank, and discarded ceiling tiles, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElroy, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 16 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 17 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 18 has also been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. And finally, number 19, to board and clean up the premises located at 2322 Motor Parkway in Ronkonkoma. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an open window on the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, as well as litter and debris, including discarded tarps, wood boards in a state of decay, damaged garbage cans, and scaffolding, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
I have some questions.
Jeff,
Councilman.
Mr. Andreas Schillett, who signed up to speak at our public comment portion of today's meeting, addressed this particular property and some easement that he thought was adjacent to the roadway, which I think everybody has a town right-of-way adjacent to their property that they're required to maintain, but most property owners do. Did you have a chance to speak to Mr. Schillett in the hall?
I spoke with him over the phone prior to the meeting, immediately prior to the meeting.
You spoke to him today?
I did today, yes.
And you laid out for him what we're doing today?
I laid out for him that it was the board's decision. I did also express to him that I know that they did make some progress, with regard to the grass, but there were existing issues at the property. I went over those issues with him to give him an understanding of those issues.
So if the board acts today, the cleanup of the property isn't going to occur tomorrow morning. He's got some time to address the other issues that are shown in the pictures that are presented to this board to clean up this property, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Explain that to him.
I did explain that to him.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
And that's all I
That's it,
have.
Jeff. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We will move to item 3, the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 4, the bid awards. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 5, the option year resolutions. There are 2 of them. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElroy, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 6, Town Board acceptance of the dedication and maintenance of Elm Court in Sayville. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 7, authorization supervisor to execute any and all documents from the U.S. Department of Energy in connection with the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program to improve energy efficacy within the town of Islip. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 8, authorization with the supervisor to request and accept funding from the National Grid for the paving restoration of certain roads in West Islip as part of its 2024 West Islip Gas Main Replacement Project. Any questions?
Just
Hearing none.
One question, do we know, because I had gotten constituent calls about this, will this paving get done this year?
If doable, it will.
Yeah, the residents are just concerned that
Yep.
the PSE&G or the National Grid's patch jobs were done poorly, and they're worried about the roads getting worse in the
Well, we got
winter season.
$189,000 to fix up.
Yep, so I just wanted to see if it was possible for this year.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman McElroy, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 9, the appointment of Gina Cacaperto as a member of the Islip Town Environmental Council Board. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
A motion by Councilman O'Connor. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 10, authorization for supervisor to execute an amendment of lease between the Town of Islip and the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority for property in the Foreign Trade Zone until August 21, 2064. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 11, meeting of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority Board. Mr. Hemingway, the board
Motion to
meeting is
convene.
convened. Motion by Councilman O'Connor. I'll second that. All those in favor? Opposed? We are convened, a quorum being present. You may begin.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the Foreign Trade Zone Board. My name is Brad Hemingway, and I am the Executive Director of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority, located in Ronkonkoma, New York. Just 3 items for your attention today, or consideration, I should say. First is approval of the minutes from June 11th, 2024, meeting of the Islip Foreign Trade Zone Board.
On the minutes, do I have a motion? A motion by Councilman McElroy, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Second item is authorization for the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority to extend 12 land leases with the Town of Islip to August 31st, 2064, for the purpose of extending subleases.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Next item is authorization for the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority Executive Director to execute assignment, extension, and assumption of sublease with AVGI LLC for property located in the Foreign Trade Zone known as 51 Roebling Court, Ronkonkoma, New York, 11779, sorry, also known as Parcel 9.
Are there any questions?
I have some questions.
Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you. Brad, I'm sorry if you responded already. I'll lead with my chin. I'm not quite sure if you did. So I had asked Will Garbarino, who briefed me on Friday, there seems to be a number of assignments of this particular lease over a course of a number of years. My understanding of the foreign trade zone is that the use of the property has to be consistent with the missions established within the foreign trade zone, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
There are some restrictions and guidelines set forth by the Foreign Trade Zone Board that we need to adhere to.
Okay.
And of course, we always try to encourage import-export
Right.
in there to utilize the benefits. But they are privately managed properties, so we kind of lose control over, at the end of the day, who's going to actually be a tenant. We do get a look, and if they fall within the guidelines of the trade zone, there are assignments sometimes.
Well, my question was really just a simple one, and I apologize if you've already answered it by email and I haven't seen it. What is AVGLI in the business of doing, and is it consistent with?
AVGI is a landlord. They're
And the
they're an
tenant-
investor coming in to
and they're
purchase the building,
assuming
have
an
tenants.
existing lease?
Correct.
And
They're
what is it?
existing tenants, and they're assuming those leases.
Okay. And the existing tenants are consistent with all the rules that they have to follow as it relates to leasing property within the foreign trade zone?
Yes, and it aligns with the way that the buildings are set up. We have, let's say, 14 buildings presently. Some of them are owner-occupied. Many of them are landlord situations, that they're a property management company, and they're working with multi-tenants.
Just so I'm want to make certain that I'm not crazy. Was this issue communicated to you on Friday after my briefing? Because I asked that it be.
I've been out of town. I just got back today.
All right.
So it was not communicated to me.
All right,
Not-
so
It
we'll
may
work on-
have been. I didn't see an email.
We'll work on that. We'll work
Unless
on
there
that.
was, some
You didn't see
postgram
it, and
that
I didn't
I
see it.
missed.
So probably neither, it doesn't exist,
didn't get it,
probably.
yes.
'Cause neither one of us
But
saw
you
it.
can always call
But
me
I
if you
did
have a-
ask for it during the briefing,
You
so
can
we'll
always,
work.
if you
we'll
have a
work on that.
question, please reach out to me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Any
I
other
have no
questions?
further items.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn the Foreign Trade Zone Board. You'll make the motion? Okay. Okay, we got it. Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElroy. The board stands adjourned, and we will move now to item 12. Authorization for supervisors to sign any and all necessary documents required for the DASNY SAM grant funding project 9582 for improvements to downtown Holbrook. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 13, authorization supervisor to sign any and all necessary documents required for the DASNY SAM grant funding project 6993 for recommended improvements in Holbrook. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 14, authorization for supervisor to sign any and all necessary documents to participate in round 14 of the Suffolk County Revitalization Program for improvements in the hamlet of East Islip. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadron. Hearing no other comments, motion and second. All in favor? Opposed? It is approved. We will go to item 15, the reappointment of Alessandro Bologna as the Fair Harbor Dock Master. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElroy, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 16, authorization of town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider enacting a local law 2024 in connection with Chapter 47H entitled Taxation Exemption for Volunteer Firefighter and Ambulance Workers. Any question? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Guadron, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 17, authorization for supervisor to enter into several agreements for programs or events to be held throughout the town of Islip. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McGilway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 18, authorization for town clerk to advertise for public hearing in connection with the JetBlue Airways Corporation airline use and lease agreement at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? I'll make that motion. Second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 19, authorization for supervisor to execute a contract with Simbrandt Aviation Services for contract DAT 2023-002, maintenance and repair of baggage belts at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 20, authorization for supervisor to execute all documents necessary for change order number 2 with J. Anthony Enterprises, Inc. for general contracting services. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 21, authorization for supervisor to execute a first amendment to the agreement with Synergy LLC for the purposes of providing consulting services to the Department of Aviation and Transportation. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadron, second. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 22, authorization supervisor to execute an amendment to the professional services agreement with Arcadis, Inc. for ongoing environmental services at the airport. Any questions? Motion? I'll make that motion. Second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 23, town board approval to ensure that the current base proportion of either the homestead or non-homestead class does not exceed the adjusted base proportion of the immediately preceding year by 1% in accordance with real property tax law, section 1903, and the town of Islip local law number 3 of 1982. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Guadron, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 24, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider amending the town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 25, the special events. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Lorenzo, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 26, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documentation required to accept the Jump Start funding project for bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure improvements in the hamlet of Bay Shore. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Lorenzo. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 27, authorization supervisor to execute any and all documentation required to accept the Jump Start funding project for upgrades and enhancement of the Central Islip Recreation Village. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 28, town board approval to allot an additional $4 million to be used in the Small Business and Nonprofit ARPA Grant Program. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadron, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 29, town board approval to provide a procedure to establish the agenda for regularly scheduled town board meetings. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 30, authorization for supervisor to enter into a license agreement with Suffolk Regional OTB for the non-exclusive use of the municipal parking lot located at 0 Expressway Drive North in Islandia. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. There are no other items to come before us. Motion to adjourn, second by Councilman O'Connor. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of this lovely summer month. It's a good thing.